All right, we're live. Yeah. Cool. So we basically have a working build, right? Awesome. Well, hopefully, we should just have a bunch of errors. Do you have the TypeScript extension in VS Code running? Go into your... Oh, the files are not TypeScript files. So let's... Do you have the latest version of this project in a commit? Okay. Let's commit this, what we have now. Cool. No. You do want that, actually. What that indicates to anyone else who like installs the exact packages and versions that you were using. Because in package.json, many of them are going to be relative. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, that sounds reasonable. I say we start by giving it a try, seeing if it looks like success. If you want to, I mean, I also can sort of confirm that. Try to confirm it. Yeah, so TSX seems like... I mean, I'm only seeing one thing that's saying this, but it looks like pretty standard. Hmm. I would just do maybe the first one, index.jsx, since that's your entry point. Which it's okay. It should be easy then. I feel like something with the importing might potentially break, so we can give it a try. Mm-hmm. There we go. So we have some kinds of errors. And what happens if we try to run our build now? Because it worked before, right? Oh, there we go. We have to install @types_react. I ran into that the other day when I was converting. Or I was making a new project, actually. It says JSX was not set. So I'm curious if that is a build setting? Oh. Where would you set --JSX in the Webpack? Here, I'm going to grab that error. It's okay to look at it separately, I think. So it's looking like the JSX is a setting. JSX React --JSX. JSX React. Okay. Which would be if we can look at the same code. So if I go into the Webpack. Ooh, wait, what? Wait, where is it? tsconfig. Do you have a JSX setting at all? Preserve is the commented out one, right? And so apparently that might do it. Okay, cool. So that looks like progress to me. I don't know. Yeah. It's totally a thing. Types and modules. I feel okay with types and modules. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at declaration reference now. I wasn't sure where the file went. I thought it would be per file? Possibly? I'm not positive. Yeah. Library structure. Okay. Okay. This is for your own code. I'm thinking that once your own code is in TypeScript, it's not going to matter anyway. You're not going to need this thing. That's what I'm feeling. So I think it runs. I think it will transpile with errors or with warnings or something like that. Transpile with errors. So it'll transpile successfully, but it'll have warnings. So let's try it. Mm. What? Yeah. Can we do a build where we don't let this kind of an error stop the build? But that's okay. Well, let's follow down this path of errors. How about that? So then let's. I feel like we rename that to TypeScript, and then we make it a TypeScript file. That one. Correct. Can you refactor? Do you use the refactoring tool in VS Code? Next time we'll do that. We should be able to. Mm-hmm. Can I run? I can't run this code, can I? Oh, you can give me access. Hopefully it limits. What? What's up? Yeah. But we should know well, let's go back one. No, yeah, it disappears when you make it as TypeScript file. The same error. Go back to index. Yeah, and hover. Oh wait, so. Okay. Correct. So yeah, so we handle the typing within the TypeScript file. When it's not a TypeScript file and we import it, we have to then also create that other file that I can't recall the name. That's my understanding. Yes, that is my understanding. Yeah. When I read a quick guide on like how to do the conversion, and it basically said just do a command R, match all your files and turn them all to TypeScript and fix all the errors. That was the basic premise. What, you want to try to, yeah? So is that an app? Okay. It yes. In app. So, so I'm just testing some of the features of the inspector or whatever, the IDE. So that was what the IDE said was the smartest. What it was its attempt to quick fix the problem. And I'm infer from all usages. Host doesn't allow running. So see if you can infer from all usages. Is that what it did? Yeah. It wouldn't let me do it. Yeah. And so what is the read only? Like, what is that? Is that... so, yeah. TypeScript? Do a search there, sure. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's not a bad idea to do for props, right? Because why would you reassign? But so this is basically saying some kind of an object is all this. So let's not even put props there. Yeah. The only problem is that the super props, that's the problem, is if this were, but it's not. Because of your usage, you can pass in an empty object for props. Okay. Sure. Sure. Right. So let's make a type of. Is that what is that thing? Is that a student? Okay, that sounds good. That sounds like a type that needs to be defined. And it feels like it should be somewhere else in a different file. Ooh. Can we refactor this? When you say pass it into the top level? Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a piece of it. The other thing is, it doesn't even say anything in here about refactoring. Refactor? Tools? View? What I was thinking of, we want to make a type that is a student and then indicate that this thing is a student. So if we define it somewhere, it will must be a student. And I figured I could extract this out. I can. So there's refactoring tools, and so what I was trying to do right now is verify like, hey, we can use these. And then what happens is once you feel pretty comfortable using these refactoring tools, sometimes they just absolutely save you a bunch of time. So I was just curious if I could see where it is up here. Actually, you can. So Command Shift P maybe opens up Refactor. Refactor. No refactoring is available. What about extract? Extract. Extract to a function. Extract to a variable. Extract to variable. So if you do Control Shift P, you can select extract and extract something to a variable. What? Oh, it's on Go. It was trying. Yeah, it was trying to do a Go command. Yeah. So let's go to. How do I install extensions? Install. I'm checking on install extensions. So I do want to see if I can find something pretty quickly that's standard, because I had something actually kind of okay. So I'm on the. I'll share my screen with you for a minute, so at least you're not in the dark in what I'm doing. Ooh, this is this screen. Okay, here we are. So refactoring from the Xcode website. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. Here we go. Look at it. It looks like it should be built in. Well, look, there's Typescript reference as well. Okay. All right. Code actions. Typescript language service. TypeScript language service. So it's not even an extension, actually. It should be... I wonder if it's not being turned on because we're using TSX and mostly not TS. Here, let me see. And let's go. Who used language service VS Code? Okay. Install the TypeScript compiler. Interesting. It does not include the compiler. You will need to install the compiler. Oh, I forgot. In the bottom. In the bottom right, it tells us what type of file we're looking at. TypeScript React. Configure TypeScript React settings. Oh well. Anyway, we'll do it manually. Just something to keep in mind is wow, refactoring. So refactoring can be in like this is where IDE can help you so much. It's crazy. It'll detect every time you use a thing, you change the interface, it'll update all the references to it. It's huge. So this is a small app, but definitely you want to know this and not forget it, just in case if you have to do a big refactor, this should pop in your head. So I'm curious if we should, like models, I feel like honestly there should be something called models or something. Maybe. I'm just going to do that for now. We can refactor it later if it's... No. So I just made a student. I'm going to make a student like type. And so you could see this actually. It's under models student.ts. And type student equals I think I might have to start pulling this up if you know how this works. Is it something like this? Here, I have to look it up. Yeah. Custom. Oh, okay. Really? As opposed to... Ooh. Wow, okay. Okay. number. Yeah. That I didn't pull that. I was trying to generate some stuff off the top of my head before I went and actually confirmed it. So first name is going to be, are those right? Yeah, that's right. Oh, and are they're semicolons, actually, not commas? At the end of each line. Okay. Oh my gosh, so many of these are just going to be... Really? These seem like these should be enumerable. Like...
Yeah. But they're, yes, but I made them strings because they're going to be different, there's going to be numbered buses, but then also like car riders and walkers as well.
But it should be from a set list, right?
Yes, it will be from a set list.
So then, for now, we could do this. But then, those should be called... There's a type. Ah, there's enums too? There's two things that solve the same problem. Yeah, for sure.
So your camera's on. I don't know if that matters for you recording.
The camera is on in the recording. You can't see it on Zoom because the recording is hijacking it. So enums.
The way I'm giving more friendly names to a set of numerical values.
That's a weird... That's one way to use it, but it can be a bunch of strings as well. Or it can be anything. Actually, okay, so that's the deal. Like, if you're writing a bus to save data, it's like, technically, it's one. I don't know what to say. It has an ID of one. Like, writing bus 1 has an ID of 1. Walking has an ID of 2, whatever. Because they're a part of the transportation type enumerable. So we go like transportation type enumerable number 1. But really, we get to say transportation type dot bus 1. Transportation type dot. So those would have to be hard coded. Like when I say hard coded, like there is a predefined set of options, and if it's always the same, like if you can have more buses, then it's more likely it's something that's generated from like a database. Like we added 2 more buses, those need to be options. Then technically, like at runtime or at whenever something gets saved, it pulls from the database like what are our options. Adding a new option adds a new entry into the table. So it would be a dynamically generated enumerable in the end. But our first version of the enumerable might be hard-coded.
Yeah. Okay.
So this sounds good? It's like an enumerable? Okay.
I haven't actually built the functionality to have multiple routes, but it sounds like dovetail with multiple ways.
So I'm just going to put this here for now, and then we can refactor this.
We have to export any of this?
Something like that. I don't know what exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. So this is this a transportation type? Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Okay. And
Let's say there's 3 buses, numbered 1, 2, and 3.
okay.
And then we have walkers and car riders.
Okay. So AM route has a transportation type. PM route has a transportation type. I believe that's correct. Okay.
And so, what's the deal on line 2? You're assigned bus 1 and
Oh, I'm just pulling that from, let's see. Enums begin their numbering starting at 0. You can change this by manually setting the value of one of its numbers. This is fine. This doesn't really matter, actually.
I wonder, thinking ahead, can we make, do they have to be whole integers? Maybe negative numbers?
Well, you probably could. Why?
Just a small, can you make walkers be 0 and car riders be -1? And that way I can continue having buses and the bus always has the same numerical value as the student. Should just make.
Oh. So, okay. The way you would write the code should make that irrelevant, but that's okay. So we could do this, and that should do exactly that. Walker is 0, bus is 1. Oh, I see what you mean. You're saying car rider then here then, right? Equals -1. Is that right? And then get rid of this.
What numbers can actually support?
It should be okay. Let's see. I mean, it's not throwing us an error so far. Interesting. Oh yeah, and it pulls it up. It knows what it is. Okay. So do you want? Let's just call this models for now. Is that cool with you? Just yeah, we don't want to like have to keep creating additional files, I guess. Okay, so then how do we export this stuff? Maybe like this. Really, we only need. Is the only thing I need to export is a student? But it's being used as a value. I don't really know how to export a type, actually. Do you export types? Through a module. Export interface. Export interface is what I'm doing. So technically that is allowed. But do I need to export multiple things? Technically, I'm not even using transportation type yet. The only place it gets used so far is in a student. Export students. So there's multiple exports here. Yeah, okay. So we'll leave this as is. Oops.
All right, then back to TSX, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need to make sure. How do we get students tonight?
So sample data, we make a new student. Well, we make a student. It's a student with these values, is what we say.
Right.
So if I make if this is just test data, I would say. So it's not a component. I don't know. Data, I guess. New file. What?
Declare a JavaScript object conforms to the shape unit act like here. So it might be students. This is where. No, that thinks it's like against the interface student.
Okay. So definitely the types are used for how we're using functions. So like when we define a function, we're explicitly naming what types that function accepts. So this has nothing to do with that technically. Yeah, nor have we been talking about the type that a function takes. Which is why this is feeling a little bit weird. Partially at least.
Also, we're trying to do this within state, so I'm looking for how to, set type inside the state. Okay, so now what different? Nothing in the. Side note, we could have set this up to use Webpack and the TypeScript loader.
Okay. So I'm finding success in this actually. What I'm doing is it looks like it's working the way you would expect. At least for this part. Like I can make Johnny, I can make some variable like here, sample student. And this is correct usage. And so it validates this data against what a student is.
Right. Why are you importing the student component from?
That's wrong. That part's wrong.
Okay.
But the fact that it's trying to validate this is correct. So what is a bit humorous? Oh no, it's right. Okay. Yeah, it is trying to validate against this thing, but if this were the correct, what do I need? Models / and this probably just needs to be this. There we go. Here we go. Look at correct. Look at this. It's telling me these shouldn't be strings now.
Right. They should be. Oh, how do we assign the data? Oh,
We have to make some sample data for that stuff.
wait, do we? No. We already have the option.
Oh, you're totally right.
One of those options.
You're right. So I do need to import the which doesn't get exported. Export it now. Go back. Trans. There we go. Cool. So now these can be transportation type dot +1.
Okay.
That's whatever. There we go. This is an appropriately validated sample student. So what we could say is that your app takes a sample student as a prop.
Okay. So students becomes is an array of sample students. Where are you importing that from?
It's not imported yet. So this props is something. Gosh, I feel like this is just going to be multiple lines, which takes some kind of a student. Oh, named props type. What is this, like student? Which is a type student? Okay, that is correct. Okay. So then student goes students. Oh, is a student array? That's in state.
It's an array.
You
An array made up of individual students.
right, but that's fair. So for like setting up our app and when it starts, something like this I think is reasonable. Like, you know, you went from it being hard-coded. This is still technically hard-coded in a way. It's just sort of going through that interface validation. Because later on when we have students, we're going to use the same interface. So you are hard-coding the initial state. So validating it here doesn't make sense. This isn't a line where we're setting state or writing a function which needs to validate the types. So we don't need to like we don't need to put student again, basically.
Yeah, I don't know what student is. I guess
It has to be that because it's like we set that student must be of type student here as a part of the constructor, the parameters, which is where our types are going to be. Our types are going to be checked in the parameters of functions.
okay. But we're not passing the sample data into props. Like we're not going through.
Not yet. But right. So the way this works is for each function we write, we define the types for the function. And that function will fail to execute if we invoke it improperly. So by the time the function is actually executing, we're guaranteed the type. Cool. So when we go back, you're right. Like when app actually gets invoked, it's going to have an error. Like in index, it should have an error at least.
Because we're not passing anything into props.
Correct. Except for that it's assumed to be optional. So it's not technically going to have an error because I suppose the like props is actually optional.
So I'm still a little confused about line 15.
Okay.
Where is it getting knowledge of what a student is?
On this line 11.
Okay. Where is that getting knowledge of alias class student reports student? Like, are you sure that what you referred to on line 11 isn't referring to is that component?
It's referring to the wrong thing. No, you're absolutely right. Which is humorous because if you hover over the student, like
Which student on which line?
on line 15, we need to change names, obviously. These,
Right.
but interestingly, it knows that what is meant is. Wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. What? Why is it? Why does it say AM route and PM route are strings? Like, where is it getting this information from?
That's what I wasn't figuring out.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a funny. It's, you know, our IDE here is getting a little confused, I think.
So we also need to clean up the names.
Yeah.
Start by doing something like this.
I would prefer not to call things component or comp. I'm thinking that when it's a model or data, that we call it that.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. So, like, I don't know. Like, it would be that. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Do you have additional thoughts? You just want to do component? Model, both?
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I just have to check like maybe 3 places.
You may be able to do that as a refactor. That one might work. That type of refactor. Did you only change it here so far?
There's only pages that have done. Yeah.
Okay, so you changed it back. So see if you can highlight it and then do rename symbol.
Where do I put that?
Oh, you're importing from though. It's only in the file you import it that it gets the name. We're defining it the name on line 7. So technically it doesn't matter to any other file what we call it here.
Okay. So
But we still need to rename the symbol for this file. Where do you use student? Does it get rendered or anything?
the component, yeah, it's passed down into the student correct component.
I see students.
Hang on. Maybe no, it's not rendered here at all.
It's not even used.
Not even used.
That's funny.
Student grid. Yeah, it's only invoked in the student grid component. So
Let's see.
take out one.
So then student can be quick fix. Import it from models. There we go. Now it is a... Is it properly? Come on. It is. It's got transportation type now. I still don't know how it got the string thing. What? What? It's like...
Go to definition. It's go to test.ts. Then test.ts.
Uh,
I don't know how it's getting imported to this file.
it's just finding it somewhere, I guess.
Okay, we don't need test.ts, right?
No, yeah, we can just delete the file, yeah.
All right. So what have we? Not find name student.
So I'm going to call this sample student,
Okay.
right? And then that should actually be the same sample student that gets imported. Let me see if it'll find it. No. Yeah. Import, think. From data? Oh, slash. Import, export.
Sample declares sample student locally ready.export.
So I can just do... Wait, what? How do I just export something like this? But we weren't doing that in the other files. There we go. Export const. There we go. That's what we want. Okay. So yeah, the way we're importing and exporting is tweaked a little bit by the fact that we're using TypeScript and the particular... What is it? Import-export syntax we're choosing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Right. So all that work to take care of line 16.
But we're learning what it means to be like defining types and checking types, yeah.
Okay, so just to recap, so I have it in my mind. On line 16, you're importing a sample student from sample.tx, which is using sample student is the values, which is typed to the student type, and it also uses the transportation type.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we have to import both of them.
Yeah.
Yes, we had to import the types into the sample.
To the data. Yeah.
Import the sample student into our math.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sweet. So that's line 16. Line 17 and 18, I'm actually not using them right now, so I've commented them out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I guess another question about line 16. Do we have to do anything with, like, typing this array that they go into?
So if it gets accepted as, if we have a function that takes it as a parameter, we would have to type it there because this is a literal. Like, we're defining it literally in line. Yeah. This array, the outside part. If this were a function where we said, oh, it can take an array, we need to define the type of array that function could take. But written in line, we do not need to define this. It's like when we define parameters, we need to define types. I think that's mostly where it's going to come into play. So let me see if that holds true based on what we did so far. So where did we have to define a type? Right here? For sure, we had to define a type.
So we're not passing anything into props right now.
Correct. So the problem here is, like, I don't know how the required part works, but like props, we're not really getting sort of validation on props because if you look at when we invoke app here, it's not failing. So there's no validation happening here. So it's either implied that student is optional, or there's something that doesn't work the way that I would think it should.
I would have thought that we'd be better off that we don't need to type props in this case. Or the typing that we had earlier, where it was just typed to a basic object.
Yeah. It totally can be. Yeah. So we can do this. Absolutely. And then this. Oh, well, it wouldn't matter anyway, because you're right. We weren't passing it in, and we're just hard coding in on line 14 that it's this sample data. Yeah. Sure. So what would be...
Right. Why? So line 14 is done, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So line 17 is basically an array that will hold students as you click on them in the app.
Mm-hmm.
Your students have been marked present.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to add any typing there?
Well, that only holds students.
Right.
Yeah, so like the way that I can imagine here, I'm gonna look up a strategy. Let's call this typing state in React. Let's see if this is like a thing. Ooh, TypeScript. Okay. So let's see what the ideas are here. Yeah. Yeah.
Interface is state.
Okay.
which I guess makes sense.
So we could try this. Does the code run? It doesn't, does it? Let's get a bunch. Well, I mean, does it? Okay, so does it transpile? I mean, you know what I realize? Can't hear. No one could hear. Anyone that watched this couldn't hear anything you're saying.
Anything I was saying?
And no, it would be super quiet. Okay, talk again. Yeah, now it's
Hello?
normal. Yeah. So basically, my system audio was at like 10%. So you would have been like a super quiet whisper. Oh well.
Oh, wow.
It's just me talking to myself.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Oh no, your little intro. Your intro is just me sitting there. Doo-doo-doo.
Oh, no.
Oh well.
So now we officially know that Jonathan just sits around and talks to himself all day.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this did not work, right?
Yeah, so we're getting a bunch of...
Yeah.
Well, so hang on. We're getting a bunch of errors, but they're all stemming from lower down that we haven't touched yet.
Mhm.
So I think we're not done with the conversion yet.
Right. Okay. So we can work through here. So how about, why don't we, let's get rid of all the errors, prioritize them, and then we can like typify more things maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I'll tell you what, I'll start from the bottom of the error list if you start from the top.
Okay, that sounds good.
What does it mean for declaration or statement expected?
I don't know. Hmm. Oh, there's a syntax error here. Oh, wait, what? That's weird. That's okay. Um,
Wait, in TSX, are there supposed to be semicolons after function definitions?
there was some improper, there was a missing curly brace, which I think just confused the transpiler and gave that error.
Okay. Let me rerun the trans. Did you find and fix it?
Go ahead. I fixed one. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Is that more sensible now?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
good.
talking about a bunch of properties not existing on type, blah blah blah.
Great.
So yeah. That was the problem. All right. Property not writing doesn't not exist on read only.
Sure. Wait a minute.
So yeah, so it's objecting to the not writing property.
Mm-hmm.
I think we actually need, when we define props, we need to we actually need to type our props like we saw in
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And they did that literally by writing that at the top of the file. Interface props and then making the interface.
Yeah, but I would feel more comfortable. Let's put this in our models. Just to keep all our definitions together.
And then import it.
Yeah.
For props, though, the props... So here's my thought. The props for a component typed for that may not directly coincide with a model for something. Like yeah. Okay, you hear me? These are the props for a component explicitly.
Right. So, and we should keep that in the same file as the component.
I feel like it's not, yeah. I feel like that's better than splitting it out. But if it's a thing, if it's a student or whatever, then it can be a model.
Sure. All right, so can you, I'll type for a second. Can you tell me what to type for app? No, interface. Something like this?
Yeah, and then in there, just define...
Well, there is nothing that we're using for iProps.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Maybe I don't need to do that here. Let's just do iState.
Okay.
And iState has students, right? Mm-hmm. Ooh, hang on. How do we do this? We might need to.
It's before or after the braces, not in the braces. Here, I can look. It's like array student. Let's see. Pull it up. It's student and then the array after. Student, open, close, square brackets.
Okay. Oh, get back there.
Yeah.
And semicolon, right? And then students present. We should talk about how to type students present in a second. Not writing is a bunch of Booleans. So
Boolean array.
A Boolean, so it's like this. Boolean array.
Should be.
And then num students is just, it's always going to be an integer. So number.
I got to tell you, the way that you're storing your data here is a little weird.
I know. It was what I could come up with in 12 hours.
Okay, cool. No problem.
If we have any thoughts about how to refactor it later, we'll totally do that.
Okay.
Students present.
Is students present, though, not just another student array?
I need to remind myself how I stored it. I'm looking down at my student click handler. State students present. Oh no, I just
IDs.
Present now equals previous state. I'm looking at line 70. So take previous state, present now, previous.
Does it turn into an object?
Oh, okay. So every student has an ID, right? And when a student, any given student is clicked, I just take in the array, I take I change the index of that array that corresponds to the student's ID to true.
That's weird.
Hey, It works fine. But that means this should be a Boolean array.
Okay.
Hey man, it was
it is
actually I may have come up with that literally like 4 hours before presenting.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Where did your time go?
I actually like thinking through which part of this big app I was thinking of.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Which part to build, and then what my data type, what my data structure needed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like what pieces of data I need to keep track of on each student, and then the figuring out that iPad border around the was actually not that simple.
Yeah. So many students struggled with CSS.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like, yeah. Time.
Yeah, that's where the time went. I'm telling you. Anyway, cool. So that's typed. Is state, is that going to... Now, is that going to fix some of our errors?
I'm not really...
Property present.
I'm not understanding why we're getting these identifier expected on Axios things. Oh. Never mind.
Wait, hang on. I'm not understanding this first error. Property not writing does not exist on type read only. I thought type read only was for the prop. Does React pass something with state into... Oh, wait. We actually need to use the is state interface somewhere.
Mm-hmm. That's the type of props, or the type of state.
How do I pass that in?
Oh, you know what? I don't know, actually.
Let's back to that Stack Overflow thing.
Yeah.
Interface state extends React component. Oh, scroll down to the answer. There it is. React component, and then does it in iProps and iState. It would be something like...
Oh, here. I wasn't seeing that. Okay, cool. Yeah. So then this should just be... That should work that way. Oh, no. Except for it needs a couple of things.
What should work which way? Oh.
Does that work? I don't know. I mean, this is not too bad, right? Like we're making progress. I mean, I will be very excited when the whole thing transpiles and runs.
Right? Okay. I'm getting slightly different error on the transpilation. Argument of type this is not assignable to parameter of type is state. Do I have to make an iProps interface? Even if it's empty?
Yeah, otherwise it's undefined.
Right.
But you can make it optional explicitly, I think. So props is that or
iProps?
undefined? Like something like that should actually be valid. Oh, or read only. Wait, what? Yeah. props. Well, interesting. So that should be, oh no, wait a minute. So iProps can be empty. Oh. This can be that. Gosh. Read only iProps. Right? I feel like all of this is okay. Is that making sense?
Not what I saw in the Stack Overflow thing, but
Ugh, okay, hold on.
you can try it.
Where? In the constructor? Well, we don't need it. We don't need to have. So the fact that I'm saying it can be undefined. Here, can we transpile it?
Go for it.
See? npm build ts. Oops. Whoa. It's so slow. I guess it really is just interacting directly with your terminal.
Yeah, and I don't have that like 24 million core mega machine that you run, you know?
So I feel like I'm not seeing that error. Actually, I think I solved the error, to be honest.
Okay.
So it can be undefined. You do not have to pass in props now. It's basically the error that was solved.
Okay.
Now I just need to figure out what I call a function. Is that? I'm gonna run it again. Okay. Now I'm not getting function. So I guess it's capital F function,
Okay.
which is, let me confirm that. Whoa, TypeScript. Search function. Ooh, where are the basic types? Let's see. User guide. Wait, what? That's Visual Studio Code. That's why I'm confused. TypeScript. Basic types. Function. Functions, right here.
I feel like that looks like that's a part about typing the parameters to the function.
Yeah, I agree.
If you scroll all the way up to the top.
Oh, this one? Of functions?
No, but basic interface, basic types. And what is there a function type here?
Let's see. Whoa. Void is nothing. What? Okay. Let's do function type TypeScript. Function parameter. Really? Function type expression. Function type expressions. S as a string. Come on. Callback. Callbacks obviously have to be functions. Describable function. Ooh, what?
Type, description.
Expression syntax. Function. Some constructor. CTOR constructor. This is just seems like this should be more straightforward.
I mean, you're just wondering, like, is there a function type?
Yeah. Capital F worked.
Okay.
But I'm surprised that this is not more obvious. Func is of type function. That does a thing. Oh my gosh. This is how you do it. I forgot. So this is annotation that I've seen before for a function. Yeah?
Right. Okay.
And you actually are defining within it also what arguments it takes and its return type.
Okay. So the function that's being defined here is called map, right?
Yeah.
But
It takes
and
yeah.
it takes and the first going to ignore that e and the 0, but the first argument that it takes is an e type. It's,
Yeah, which is like a
an
generic
e,
type, I think.
okay, an array of e's,
Yeah,
right?
of anything, sort of, yeah.
Right. The second argument this map function takes is a function whose first parameter is the e type.
Yeah.
And then the arrow points to I didn't understand what you said about how you inferred the return type.
It's of O type. Right here.
Oh,
The
okay.
O type, I think, is defined here. Inferred. Inferred types. So I'm used to this from Java. I wouldn't say I'm used to it, but I've definitely used this in Java. So I think this is generics. Generic functions, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, basically the way it's working is map is a function which the two of these are slightly unclear, which takes something of a type E, which can be any type, and of type O. That's a little weird. Okay. It returns type O array, right? So map returns a new array.
So map returns a type O array, or the callback function returns type O array?
The callback returns type O right here.
Type O, okay.
Yeah. And then this is for the map function here. This is return type for map function, which is a whole array of O.
Okay, I see. There's the parameter parentheses, which has an argument, and a func.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then you close that parentheses,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a colon, which is the return type of the
Yes.
map function itself. Okay.
There's this bit here that I feel like I still. So when you map takes a E and an O. Oh, an E and an O. I don't know. I don't know that. Does it say? Of T. Generics are used. Yeah, generics are used when we want to describe a correspondence between two values. We do this by declaring a type parameter in the function signature. Okay, in the function signature, we give it a type. By adding a type T to the function and using it in two places, we've created a link between the input of the function and the output, the return value. Okay.
Now when we call it, a more specific type comes out.
Inference. Yeah, exactly. No, we didn't have to specify T in this example. The type was inferred chosen automatically by Typescript. We can use multiple type parameters as well. For example, a standalone version of map would look like this. But why? Why does it have the
map? The function itself has the type E and the type O, and then it uses the type E in its parameters and the type O as the return type.
Okay, so it's like saying, I'm going to use two types, a quote E and a quote O. Okay? Now, what are the relationships of those? Because it's not defined at all yet. We take as our arguments an array of type E. Okay. Then we take E Okay, this is where this now makes sense. So this is literally just saying I want to use a quote E and a quote O. No relationship defined. But I take an array of E, okay, and I also take a function which itself takes NE and returns an O, and I return type of O.
I return an array of O's.
Sorry, yes, an array of O's. So I follow this now.
Okay.
This is awesome because I never fully got this with Java either. So I think I got a little better there too.
So the E and the O that come directly after the word map here is just kind of like a preview.
Yeah.
Like you're previewing the types that you're going to use.
Yes.
And then you actually.
Yeah, and these should be like could be any letter, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is something like element and output or something.
Okay, and what are the names of the actual parameters in this case? R and funct, right?
Correct, yes.
So if I was writing this without TypeScript, the only thing I would have is function map, open parentheses R comma func, close parentheses, right?
Totally.
Curly braces, return, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And everything. Okay. Sweet.
So we've got, from this, we got this bit about how to define a function as a type. and lots of extra stuff. But what we needed.
Let's dig ourselves back out of this rabbit hole.
Correct. So function wouldn't quite be right. It instead should be click handler, which takes takes an E, takes an argument. In fact, why don't I say that takes an event E and it returns void. Boom.
Hang on. How do I flip over to the click handler? Is to find an app. I'm just
the handler
wondering.
itself.
Don't forget. I forget which parameter. I use E for the event, not event for the event. Don't you have to make those match in the type definition?
The names themselves?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. This has to be a type. So event, so that's sure. Of type of a type. So if I could do, oh shoot, just as a shortcut for now, I could say it can be any for now.
Okay.
Which I think that's fine. There might actually be a type for a JavaScript event. Let's see, TypeScript. Actually React event type, because that's a synthetic event. Mm-hmm. TypeScript and React event handling. A mouse event. Look at this. A mouse event is actually an event from React. Wow. So a click event is probably another one. Mouse event. Let's see. Click. Event handle click handles a. Oh, it is a mouse event.
I think maybe mouse event is the only kind of event that applies here.
Okay, so over here, import React and mouse event, boom, 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 from React. Mm-hmm. And then I can say that this is a mouse event. Wow. I believe this is correct.
The linter is not giving us any problems. So.
Yeah, but I could call this. Look at linter's not giving us any problems still.
Okay. Well, we can try compiling and see what happens.
Hold on, let me actually call that mouse event. So can I click through to this? Is this a thing? It is a thing. So that also tells me it's correct.
Okay.
So that's a thing for sure. And look at its nice TypeScript interface. Awesome. So cool. Yeah, let's do it. We can build it, right? And then what happened? Didn't get any errors there, I don't think. Cool.
I'm seeing 25 errors.
For this part, though.
Oh.
I'm saying.
From submit button.
Yes. particularly in this area that I just tweaked. Yeah, I don't see any from submit button. Yeah, so I think this file is okay now.
They're in there.
Oh, it is in there. Oh no, where?
Submit button, line 6.
Okay.
Oh, that's styled submit button.
No, that's different. Oh wait, down here. Well, we can still work through these errors.
Okay. So I may change once again. Hang on. By the way, do we have anybody who's actually listening to the stream?
I don't know. Let us find out. I can pull it open here. There is there anyone? There's one viewer right now.
Oh, okay.
Somebody is watching.
Somebody. Well, I'm gonna sit with my daughter. So if a baby starts crying,
Got it.
it's my fault.
That's fine.
All right. What are we doing? Okay, so that means you were working on submit button. Let me work on app again.
Or did you realize that you can control click the line where it says the error is, and then hit enter and it will take you there?
Oh, no, I did not.
I've seen before where I control click when I have a bug, control click, it'll take me right there. This one presents a like kind of a go-to box, and then I hit enter. You might even see it on my screen now.
Let me switch over to your screen. Try it. Can you show me?
I'm doing it now.
Oh, sweet.
And then I hit enter and it goes there. So definitely a time saver.
Sweet, very nice. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Okay. Student can take a student. Student can take a student. Takes like the props here, like this interface iProps. And that is these ones.
All right. Last time about the primary type. So, Jonathan, can you look at something with me?
Yeah.
Line 21 in app.tsx.
Okay.
Not quite understanding this error, the error popping up under when we pass props into super. So the argument of type IP read-only IP props undefined is not assignable to parameter of type IP props.
Right. So we said that for app, it's okay for it to be undefined on line 20. But when we do it to React.component, React.component isn't defined for that to be acceptable, undefined. So technically...
You mean here inside here on line 19, it only is expecting IP props, iProps and iState?
No, that's for app. So we're defining that for app.
Right, okay.
But when we call super, that's React.component.
Oh, that's right.
So we can just say we'll give it nothing.
Okay.
So we could even do this. Props or nothing, which means if we have props, we'll give it. But if we didn't get any props, by default, we'll give it an empty object. That means if in the future we decide to actually pass props in app, they'll get sent as anyway. So it's like future proof.
Okay. On line 27, type true or undefined is not assignable to type Boolean.
Undefined. You have lots of undefined entries here.
Yes. Again, just the weird thing.
You can make it. I don't know. Allowed.
Right.
Somehow you want your array to be allowed to be undefined, I guess.
Right.
The values in it, yeah.
I mean, I could
not do it a weird way. I'm just kidding.
Hey, look, I'm trying to separate problems out here. I'm just trying to refactor to TypeScript, not to my.
So you could do any. I mean, there's other things you can do too, but certainly a quick fix would just be any. Make it in any array, yeah.
Okay.
We basically say, let's not use TypeScript here.
Right. Okay. Cool beans. All right. I'm going to rerun the compiler and see where we are.
Okay. Hopefully there are fewer errors.
I think we were at 25 last time. Let's see 23 errors. Solved a couple.
Cool.
I feel like TypeScript. With TypeScript, you put in a ton of work up front.
Yeah.
To define all these types, but then it pays out as you develop further.
Yes.
In fewer bugs.
Definitely.
All right, line 21.
Yeah, basically, it definitely because I've used typing in Java more, and you end up with way more compilation errors that you have to work through, and part of it's the IDE as well. You'll end up with conditions where something isn't always what you think it is. Oh, but that can be undefined. And undefined, you couldn't call that property, right? And technically in your code, this thing could be undefined. So you have to handle that case. Whereas in JavaScript, it'll just get into your deployment, and then you didn't get some value at some point, and then your program crashes. And it probably won't completely crash, but it won't continue to execute code in that path because something was undefined. Whereas in your Java version or your TypeScript version, you caught that because your compiler wouldn't work. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's a common one, I think, is where there are cases where something doesn't have a value, and in a a strict typing, you have to catch it at compilation time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
Parameter student implicitly has any sign. Okay. So parameter student implicitly has.
Okay, so we have a problem.
What?
We're still getting an error on line 21 when we're passing props into super. So still saying the same error.
Ooh.
Type undefined is not assignable to type props. Type undefined is not assignable to iprops or read-only.
So let's do this then, because I could have been slightly off on my logic, and let's retranspile it and see if the error still exists.
Okay.
What was the result?
Still trying to find the top of our
Yeah.
errors. There we go. Yep, still there. The type, wait.
I'm not seeing it.
Did I? Yeah, I scrolled too far past.
Do you think last time you might have?
Maybe.
Because I really feel like that fix would have worked.
Put it back.
I put it back now.
Okay. I'm literally going to open a third terminal
Okay.
so that I only have one version. Okay, run. Nope, it is not there. I totally.
Okay, so it was fixed. Excellent. If you want to waste my time, just let me know ahead of time, okay?
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, please, can you save the changes to app.tsx?
They should be saved.
I'm seeing them as not saved on your end. Like I'm looking at your screen share.
I see that. Control S? I don't know.
And are you still connected to the live share? Because it's also not showing up in my version of the documents.
Really?
Your fix.
It means I can't. Oh, it says loading. Something's not letting it load, I guess. This happens sometimes, huh? Look at it's up top now. It's got a little loading bar.
Mm-hmm.
This happens, huh? Sometimes.
Yes. This totally happens.
And what do you do?
You usually just stop the. You need to jump out of the live share and rejoin.
Really? Okay. Which means. Interesting. Which means I go down to live share. I do this probably, leave session.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just not even listening to me. Oh, there we go. Join.
You need. Okay.
No, it's in the. I have it here from your message. Hey, wait, will it be the same? It will, right? Because you're hosting the same one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, and then presumably my changes are gone.
Mm-hmm.
I see them though, so they got in there at least. Wait a minute. Oh. It still shows the... Well, you're editing, I guess. Yeah, it's okay now. Ugh, anyway. Yeah, getting fluent with this TypeScript will make a huge difference in the speed at which you could do this and work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was awesome, though, figuring out the generics. We were like... There's like... It's like one line, but we like stared at that for so long.
Until you stare at it until it makes... That is one strategy you can use.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't recommend it all the time. It also helped out a lot that you knew that you could you'd already done something in Java.
Yeah, that I had some familiarity with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, type boolean. So we are steadily whittling this down. I'm now looking at an error occurring on line 73 of app. Type boolean null is not assignable to type boolean. Oh, I need to convert I need to type my click handlers, right?
Yes, into kind of what we did before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh.
This is kind of cool. Gaining,
Well,
like right now, I feel like I'm at the point where, getting some fluency. Like, okay, I don't have to look everything up. I'm getting it, right? Starting to
okay.
get it. And it's just so cool,
Yeah. Keep building something. Keep typing. You start. I shouldn't have let you type as much earlier because now I'm having to go back and look up all the stuff that you typed.
Well, us working. I mean, I find this interesting actually that we're kind of working in different parts but simultaneously.
Uh-huh. Student click handler. All right. Function. What was the type? Did you already wait? Can you flip over to app.tsx line 53?
Mm-hmm.
Did you already work on the student click handler?
Not in it.
Okay.
Right.
Because there's an ID of any down here.
That. What? It's not. That got in an earlier commit. What commit is that from?
I don't know.
Pull it open. Look at your. Can you. We want to see. Here. Let me see if I can see it. Changes. I want to see it in the gutter. I want to see code changes in the gutter. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know.
Let me see if I can find out how to do that.
Okay. Let me know.
Inline change. Get notations.
Let me ask you something. If a function doesn't take in any parameters and doesn't return anything, it's just accessing the values it needs from closure and, operating in side effects. Do I need to assign any types to it?
You need to go learn pure functions and functional programming is what you need to do. I'm just kidding.
Thanks.
No, it's an empty arrow with a void.
Okay.
So for this, it's colon void.
For which?
Where you're at. Well, where I see you on 79.
Right here, colon void.
Yeah. Should be it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, because the parameters would go inside of 79.
Right.
And sorry, inside of the parentheses if there were any.
Which, hang on. So when React run this, it automatically passes an event in to any click handler, right? I'm just not using that parameter here. Do I have to type that parameter knowing that it's coming?
You know what? I would say no. Because it's more... It's worse to define parameters and for them to not be used in your code than for your code to get called later with parameters that you don't use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do I need to type the render function at all?
It doesn't take anything. It returns a component, technically, actually.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
It returns a React component, or I don't actually know what to do there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get to it when I get to it.
Okay.
Argument of types. Now, okay, I'm getting an argument from inside a set state call.
Okay. An error?
Yes. I think it's objecting to something. Argument of type students, any routes, any unassignable to parameter. Oh, yes. I'm passing in things that don't meet, passing in things to set state that don't meet the type that it's expecting.
Right. You can make those things optional, I think. What line are you looking at?
40 through 45.
Okay. So students. Where's students defined?
Oh, I see why. I see. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm not using routes right now, so I need to comment it out for the moment.
Oh, props and this dot props. Props a state. Getting an ID. Your containers are getting an ID. Student image. Gets an ID also. What?
All right.
Styled components. Have you gotten to how to do that one?
Although I'm reading an error on 109 of app says I'm not quite understanding what it's saying. Type students. Oh goodness. So type students, announcements, students present, not writing, student click handler is not assignable to type. There's something going on with it doesn't like the properties I'm passing in as props to student grid on line 108. Can you see the third bash terminal? The second error that's occurring on line 109?
Well, if I go into student grid, it's, yeah, so this is a matter of you're passing in props on 109 to student grid.
Right.
That's like arguments to a function. So if we look at student grid has no defined like interface for the props.
Gotcha. So we need to define those that interface.
Right.
Grid.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me do that real quick. Is props expect? Right now we're expecting students. I may have to go here in a little bit. I can literally hear my child like pooping from across the room.
Well, I have to head out as well.
Okay.
So.
Oh man, look at the time. It is 6:30.
That's cool. I feel like we definitely we've gotten to the point here. We got the hang of it.
Yeah. What's my type on the student's present object? It is in my state. Students present was the Boolean. Was the Boolean array, and then I also pass in not writing. There's the any array. And then, did I pass in num students? I did, no. I passed in a student click handler. Which, remind me, how do I type I have to type the function. Duh. I have to type the function and define the, define the inputs and the return.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm definitely kind of getting the hang of this. It took a second. But nice.
What is announcements?
So you can just leave that out for now, or add it, but comment it out. Announcements will be also an array of.
Got it. It's totally unused.
It's right.
I'm getting rid of it from 34 then. Fair enough.
Okay.
It was causing one of our errors.
I just haven't implemented it yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Now.
There's some sort of a syntax error here in student grid.
Where?
Styled flex, students map. There's
Yeah. Expected, comma, after student in line 41. Wait, why is key up there all by itself? I thought key would have been passed in as a prop to student. Right?
Yeah, something got funny here.
I mean, it could have been. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't here? Oh, wouldn't it just be this?
Yeah, probably. There we go. That was it. Cool. Somehow they got moved around. Cool.
All right. So actually, yeah, 640. I'm gonna have to go too. So one more. We solved one more error.
What, in this file?
Well, I'm gonna solve one more error, and then I need to jump off.
Got it.
Line 73. All right, can you help me think through this one?
What?
App line 73, the present now. This goes back to my use of Boolean arrays.
Mm-hmm.
But present now, Boolean or null is, right. This has to, type Boolean or null is not assignable to type Boolean. Type null is not assignable to type Boolean. This has to do with the present now. This has to do with some of the elements of this array are stay as null. So I need to change the type on present now to be that any array.
Yeah.
Which goes back to, it actually goes all the way up to students present. That needs to be redefined as as an any array. Pretty sure that will fix it. All right. Any one last error you want to tackle?
No, it's good.
Sweet. So we are down to 15 errors
Excellent.
in our compiler. I
Sweet.
think we can move progress.
And we'll move even faster. All right, it's been fun.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.